Hey, we are live and we got another episode for y'all. We got a variety streamer, but he also does stream FIFA and he's pretty good at the game.
Oh
My
no.
man Zeroiqtv, how we doing?
You hype me up too much. Hype me up too much. I'm giving away 9 games every week in league and flying through and praying for the best.
Wait, what was your best record in weekend league?
This year,
Yeah,
I
this
don't
year.
even know. I think I only got 14 this year. I don't think I ever made it past that. But I've not been good at this FIFA. I got top 200 last FIFA. Um, but
Really?
yeah,
So
this
you are
one
pretty
made
good.
it. Yeah, I mean, it's like it was top 200 on PC, but it was still 26-4, which I probably would say is probably like an 18-2 if you ask me.
Bro,
Um,
that's still pretty good.
so
Even if it's
yeah,
PC,
I
that's
just
pretty
think
damn
like
good.
this FIFA is
Yeah.
just it's not that good.
Do you play on the old gen or the next gen?
I play next gen. I forced myself. I know a lot of people were like, old gen's gameplay smoother, it's easier, blah blah blah. It's just like for me, I bought my PS5. I'm not gonna sit on my PS5 and play an old gen game. Like why? This is like the most pointless
Yeah.
thing that I could do is spend however much like was like $500 for digital version
Yeah.
just to sit here and play old games. Like there's no way I was gonna do that. So I was like, bring it on. And you're gonna have to get used to it eventually. So
Right, right. Yeah. I play on both. I mean, I mix it up. I play on old gen and new gen. And this week in league I'm actually playing on the new gen, which is just terrible gameplay. Oh my
gameplay was
gosh.
so bad. I
It's
was dead.
I think it's like the worst I've played this weekend. This
And
weekend league.
see, I thought that
Yeah.
same thing last weekend. So that's why I'm
Okay.
like, I might be good. My just main Apex.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know. It's getting to that time anyway in FIFA where I feel like everyone kind of is just like at that level where like bring on the 85 times tens and
Right.
that's all anyone really cares about. No one really wants to play gameplay anymore.
That's true.
Um, I feel like you just get major burnout from FIFA at this point. Like you play it all year long, you play weekend after week. Eventually, I feel like everyone just gets burnout, until the
Right.
next game.
Right. And we were talking off stream and you're saying like you're done. You don't even want to play any more FIFA, right?
Yeah, it's just I only got 9 wins this weekend because I just couldn't do it to myself.
Yeah.
So I don't have enough for the next weekend league, like to qual for quals. And I'm
Yeah.
like, do I really want to play rivals to get there? Probably not. So I think a new split of Apex is starting, a new rank split. So I'll probably just crank on Apex. I have a lot of fun playing on Apex, so
Okay.
probably just do that.
Yeah, I've never played Apex. I don't even know like the last time I watched Apex gameplay was when it's Timmy when he did
Yeah,
that 50
dude.
hour stream.
Yeah, from Bronze to Pred.
Yeah, that was like the
Yeah,
craziest thing I've
dude.
seen, but I like don't have any
That
concept.
might be like one of the
Yeah.
craziest things in gaming, like ever. Like the fact that he took it all the way from bronze to pred in one stream without like there's a difference between doing like a 50-hour stream where like maybe you take a nap or maybe you do this, but this man was cranking gameplay the whole time. That was just
Yeah,
madness, honestly.
that's crazy. Yeah,
I could
so
never, dude. I've done two 24-hour streams and they suck the life out of you, man. It's just like
they
it's so
do. Yeah.
draining just being in
Yeah.
front of lights and staring at a screen for so long. It's so draining.
When you did your 24 hours, do you remember what you did? Like, yeah.
I think it was during Tots, the last one that I did.
Okay.
Um, I think I grinded like a lot of just FIFA. Like I was just playing weekend league and whatever else. And um, I think I had swaps I was trying to do as well. So I think I did some swaps like once it got later and I kind of like died down a little bit on viewers. I started doing like squad battle swaps, but then like that almost made it worse because then I'm like, 2 a.m. playing squad battles. Like,
Oh my gosh, you would fall
um,
asleep. I'll fall asleep.
I
Playing
think
squad
it,
battles?
yeah, I think it got to the
Yeah.
point where like last. Oh, actually, I played VR. My parents got me a VR set for my birthday.
Yeah.
And that's when I was streaming. It was right around my birthday. So I actually played a decent little bit of VR. I think I was playing like Skyrim, and then just like a couple other like games here or there on that. So that was cool.
Hmm.
I might actually get into some more VR streaming, but I just don't have enough games that that I know that I want to stream on it.
That's the one when you gotta put the headset on, and then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
do you have like certain like I don't know devices that you
Yeah,
gotta use
you
for
have
certain
like
games?
I can show you what the controllers look like.
Sure. If you're listening in the audio, Sam is just getting his controllers right now.
All right. So like this is what the headset looks like. And then
Okay.
that's what it looks like. And then um these are what the controllers look like they use. They're like these
Oh
little
wow.
I'm guessing these are like the sensor, the round. Um and those are what you use like those are like your hands. They also have like motion tracking on your like hand tracking where like if I put my controllers down, I can use my hands, like my actual hands to play it too,
Uh
which is
huh.
pretty crazy. And for anyone who is just listening, I have the Oculus Quest 2. So if you're curious, you can just look it up and see what it looks like.
Uh huh.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I love it. I love my VR headset. I try to play it whenever I can. So maybe I will start streaming that. It's really fun. It's like, it's just one of those things. It's like, video games for some people have always been like an escape. You kind of just like
Right.
zone into the games and you kind of like just like forget about everything else. You're just enjoying the games. And like VR just takes it that extra step where you're like in the game. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. There's one time when I went to Tokyo for vacation, and then there's like a VR zone there. So I went in there and I tried Mario Kart.
Uh-huh.
So they get you in like a cart, and then they put on the VR set, and then they also put like gloves on. So like you're
Uh-huh.
driving and you're literally like picking up the items and throwing
And
it.
throwing them,
Yeah,
that's
it
fire.
was such a
Oh,
trip,
that's
dude.
so fire.
Yeah.
That had to
So
be so fun. I couldn't even imagine Mario Kart VR. That has to be so fun.
yeah, so I think that was like my only really VR experience that I had, but that was a lot of fun.
I mean, that's a good VR experience to have. I didn't even know that was a thing. So
Yeah. I don't know if they have it around here in the States, but when I was in Tokyo, I got to experience that. So that was pretty
that's
cool.
so sick. I want to go to Tokyo eventually. I've never gone, but it's one of those places where I'm like, gotta go there at least once.
Oh, you do? Yeah, you have to go.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just one of like, there's like, those places in the world where you're like, gotta go, gotta see it at least one
Right.
time.
Right. It's like
So,
Tokyo feels like so high tech when I was there.
mhm.
Everything's so like modernized, and for a city, like a large city, it's very clean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whenever you go to like large cities, it's like kind of dirty, but Tokyo's
Uh-huh.
like really clean, and like the food's really good.
Dude, the food has to be so fire.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you eat a
need.
lot of Japanese food, but
I mean, I eat sushi. Sushi's Japanese, right?
yeah.
I eat a lot of sushi. I love
Okay.
sushi.
Okay, for sure.
I have a like a hole in the wall sushi place right next to where I live. It's like it's one of those places where like you take it as takeout and you just you leave. You don't eat there. It's like because like you could eat there, but it's just not the cleanest place of ever.
Okay.
Um, but man, the sushi is amazing. It's so good.
Mhm.
So it's just like order takeout and go. But man, that I love sushi so much. So I could eat sushi endlessly. There used to be this place I would go to called Ginza that was in Sarasota. And they did like I think it was like $25 or $20 and you got unlimited sushi.
Wow.
You just ate until you were
Mhm.
like you were like until you just couldn't eat anymore. And the way they like did it was like if you had like any left on your plate, you paid like 50 cents per like one or whatever. But that
Yeah.
was never an issue. I just scarfed that scarfed it down every time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh-huh. If you don't mind me asking, where do you live?
I live in Orlando.
Oh, you do. You're in Florida.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually like I'm super hot right now. My AC is actually broken and it's been scorching outside. So I'm like melting in my apartment right now.
Wait,
And I have no fan in my room either.
oh, damn. How hot is it in Orlando right now?
I'll check for you. It's obviously it's late. It's 10 o'clock at night. So let me look at the. It's currently it's pretty cool right now. It's only
Okay.
79 outside, but I think it's because it's about to rain. Or it's been raining. Yeah, they said the high today is 90. So if that gives you a better,
Oof. And
maybe
it's
more
pretty humid.
accurate.
What's the humidity?
Humidity is it's only 80%. It's not the worst of all time. But what's been crazy is like so I went to the pool the other day and it was like overcast. It wasn't like super sunny.
Yeah.
But the UV was 11. I think it only goes to like 14.
Uh-huh.
So it just felt so scorching. It's like the sun definitely moved closer or something.
Yeah, damn. Well, besides like Disney World and Universal, what's there to do in Orlando?
Nothing. Literally,
Really?
I'm trying to
There's
get
nothing
out of
there?
here. Nothing.
Just gators?
Yeah, pretty much, honestly. I mean, the closest beach is like an hour and a half, which sucks.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I mean, there's just really not that much. It's purely geared towards tourism because of
Okay.
Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, whatever else is around here. But it's just like for like the anyone who lives here, it's not really anything to do.
I
I mean,
see.
I live in a really nice area.
Mm-hmm.
Like I live right next to like a town center.
Okay.
So we have like a movie theater. We have like
Yeah.
any restaurant you could want. There's like all kinds of shopping. So there's that at least, which is good. I think my favorite thing to do right now, as like, if I want to go out with friends, is to go to a barcade. It's like, do you know what a barcade is? Right.
It's like
So
kind of like a
it's
Dave and
just like,
Buster's, right?
it's just, yeah,
Sort of?
pretty much. Just
Yeah.
an arcade that serves alcohol, like an arcade for adults,
Right.
pretty much.
Right. Yeah.
So there's this one called Arcade Monsters that's like, I want to say it's like maybe 10 minutes away from us, 10, 15 minutes maybe. And they have like every arcade game you can imagine. Like they have all like the old machines, but then they also have like Nintendo Switches, PlayStations, VR. They have all those like niche like Japanese games that I would
Okay.
never understand, but are like
Uh,
really fun to play.
yeah.
Um, so they have like, and then they have like all the racing games. I think they have like foosball. They have everything, all the shooting games. They have literally just like every arcade game you can imagine. They have it there.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they also like, yeah, they serve alcohol, and it's like relatively well priced. I think it's like maybe $6 for a beer, which is like
Okay.
pretty decent.
Uh-huh.
So there's that, and I think that's my favorite thing to do. Like we'll pregame here, we'll like at my place, we'll just like get
Yeah.
drunk here, and then we'll
Yeah.
just Uber over because it's like not that much to Uber.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just game and hang out all night. So that's probably my favorite thing to do. It's probably but kind of lame considering I'm in Florida. It should be an outside activity that I like to do, but
Mm-hmm.
there's just I don't know. It's just not that much to do around here. So
Got it.
I'm trying to move though. I want to go to North Carolina. That's where I want to end up.
North Carolina.
Yes, dude.
Why North Carolina?
I love North Carolina. So I moved around a little bit when I was younger because my dad
Yeah.
was in the military.
Okay.
And for 6 years, it was like broken up, but 6 years total. We lived in North Carolina, and it's
Okay.
just so nice. Like the weather, you get all 4 seasons. We have one in Florida, hot, and that's it. There's no other season.
Uh-huh.
Like I wouldn't even say summer. It's worse than summer. It's so bad.
Mhm.
So but in North Carolina, you get every season, and then you get snow, but you don't always get snow depending on where you live. You know what I mean? So it's like snow is like a welcome sight. Where like there's some states where like they get snow every year and they get lots of snow, so they hate it.
Mhm.
It's not like that in North Carolina because you only get maybe like a dusting here and there depending on where you live.
Yeah.
And then they have beaches, and then they also have mountains. So it's just like everything you
Okay.
could want is just all wrapped up in one state. And
Mhm.
I've always loved it there. I mean, North Carolina, South Carolina, that whole area is all what I'm trying to get to.
Mm-hmm. Trey in the chat says North Carolina is where it's at.
It is. It is. I think Trey, if I'm not mistaken, actually played like the high school I would have gone to if I had stayed in North Carolina. Like he played that team. So he was like close to where I lived
What do you
in
play?
North Carolina. It was soccer.
Oh, soccer.
So,
You played soccer too?
Yeah, I played soccer up until high school. I mean, that's
Okay.
like the main reason I got into FIFA or just soccer in general was because
Right.
I played it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, this might be like a weird thing that not a lot of people relate to, but like as like an American, playing soccer is like I played soccer all my life growing up. I didn't start watching soccer until like actually watching like full games, like following a team until this season of the Premier League. That was the first time I
Interesting.
like dedicated myself to watch every game of a team and support a team the whole way through
Yeah.
because like before like I would watch like maybe I would watch highlights or like the game here or there of teams or
Right.
like I'd never had a team. I just like would watch and I would have like players that I'm like, oh, they're really good. I like watching their highlight reels or like whatever. Like it was never, I just never picked a team because it just wasn't a thing. Like no one really, no one really watched it. So there's nothing like, not a lot of people really, would watch it or to talk about it or what have you. So, uh, but yeah, and then I think I played I played all the way through high school. My school got second in the state my
Ooh.
senior year. I rode the bench all the way to the final. My team was just super good, like really talented
Okay.
players. We should have got first in the state, but one of my teammates, our striker, got a red card in the 20th minute of the game.
What?
So
What do you do?
he swung at a kid.
Oh my gosh.
Not only did he swing, but he missed. Like at least hit him. Like you know what I
Right.
mean? Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna take the red, at least get something out of it.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
man, yeah, pain. So we lost 1-0. I got in the newspaper for it because our goalkeeper was like laying down the field crying and nobody went over to get him that played on our team. Everyone just went and like left the field and our
Uh-huh.
goalkeeper was like all alone. And I was just on the bench. So I just walked all the way over to get him. I was like, get up. And I just like picked him up. Because our goalkeeper played really well. Like the goal, like, was it like arguably like a mistake on his end? Yeah, maybe. But like
Yeah.
it's just one of those things where if you lose 1-0, it's not really up to you. Like
What
we
about
should have.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, the striker got a red card in the 20th minute. We were down to 10 men. We had no striker. It was just one of those things.
What about the striker? I'm sure he felt bad, no?
He definitely did. He definitely did.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, I don't know why he would. He had never like he was known like he was like a player who's known to have a temper. Like
Oh,
he,
I see.
but
Got it.
like I don't know if he had ever like swung on anyone in any game before. So I don't know what like if a kid said something to him or what happened to cause him to swing, but whatever the case was, we got second in the state. And I
Bro,
have
if
a medal
there's
for it in my
got
closet
it.
somewhere.
Bro, if there's one game to just check your temper, it's a championship game, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can, if I could ever get that heated in a game where like I throw it away like that. Like,
yeah.
you got to have that. That's just what it is. I mean, I don't think he's gone to the next level. I don't think he went and played in college, but
Okay.
if anything, the downfall of him was his temper. He was really good. He was really skillful on the ball.
Mm,
But I mean, there's other parts of soccer where you gotta keep in check in order to get
right.
around.
Right. What did you play?
So I played my like main position that I had played pretty much all my life was right mid.
Okay.
I'm right footed and I could run forever. I used to be able to run forever. I can't run forever now. Now I'm retired
Mm-hmm.
and fat or something because I get on the treadmill, I run half a mile and I'm dead. Um, but like in high school, I ran track and cross country.
Yeah.
So I was always in great shape,
Yeah.
cardio wise. So like right mid just made sense. They do the most running. Midfielders, they just do the most running. Everyone knows that. Midfielders are up and down the field, up and down the field.
Yeah.
Or they should be at least.
Mm-hmm.
So it just made the most sense for me to play there. I was right footed. I could swing a good cross in. So that's where I always played. And then I think it had to have been like I think it was in middle school. It must have been 7th grade. I found myself playing um goalkeeper. It
Mm-hmm.
was like a gradual like move backwards. So it was like my team we didn't have a lot of subs. Like we were in the top like division or whatever of competitive for youth teams. But for whatever reason, our team, we just didn't have that many players. So we maybe had like 4 subs. It's not very deep for, top competition. And I remember like the first time I moved backwards from my right mid spot was my friend got injured at center back, and my coach was like, Sam, someone's got to do it. So just go back there and play center back. And I played good. I played really well, like out of my mind at center back. And then from then on, now I'm playing center back for some reason. I'm a backup center back. So anytime anything happened with the center back where he needed a sub or whatever, I was playing center back. And then all of a sudden, we go into the next season. We don't have a goalkeeper. No goalkeeper tried out. Previous goalkeeper moved away. So we had no goalkeeper. And coach was like, listen, someone's got to volunteer. Someone's got to do it. So I was like, why not? I'll go net. And mind you, this is on like regulation size fields, regulation size goals. Like I was old enough to be at that point. We were playing 11v11 on these. You know how big a soccer goal is,
right?
I'm maybe 4'8".
4'8" at the time.
At the time, like probably like maybe 4'9". Like I didn't hit 5 foot till like right before high school. So I was like maybe like 4'9" at the time. Had to have been like maybe 4'9". So you know how big a soccer goal is. A 4'9", really small kid does not cover a lot of the area.
Right.
I was like decent. I was half decent. Obviously the size didn't really help me out, but I was like a sweeper keeper. And in like youth soccer, nobody really played as like a super keeper. They're kind of like still timid. It was like at that age where like people still weren't really like comfortable like charging at a ball and literally laying down in front of it.
Yeah.
And I would just do it. Like I just would, balls to the wall, sprint out to try to, if I on a one-on-one. So I think that was like my only good capability. But so because of that, in my high school years, on the club side, I played right mid, and then I also was a backup goalkeeper. So any game where our goalkeeper didn't show up, or what have you, I would just play backup goalkeeper. So I think freshman year when I had started doing that, I had to have been, I don't know how tall I was, 5'4", maybe 5'2". I don't know. I was very short, pretty much my whole life until like junior year of high school is when I started growing. So I mean, I was still a small goalkeeper, but it was like better than nothing type of deal. But personally, I could have done without playing in the goal. I really enjoy playing on the right wing side or right mid side. So just the most fun I had was playing out there.
Yeah.
Do you do any soccer yourself?
I played like when I was like a kid, probably right before like middle school. I played a lot, like for like an after school program. They had like each school had their own team, and we would play against other elementary schools. But I didn't play like organized, like club or anything like that. I actually played high school basketball.
High school basketball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I played basketball only until like middle school, and I think it was like 6th grade. As I said, I'm tiny, so it's just like it got to the point where like because of how short I was, it was just like not beneficial for me to play. It's not that I was just like short. I was like so skinny. Like I don't think I hit 100 pounds until like after my sophomore year of high school. So it was just like one of those things where like I was just too small at that point.
How tall are you now?
I'm 6 foot now. So.
Oh, you're 6 foot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Damn. I'm the tallest one in my family. Like my dad's 5'6" and my mom's 5'3". And then my little brother is 5'7", maybe. He says he's 5'7", but he might actually be 5'6".
Okay.
And then oh my gosh, I just see Jake in your chat.
I know, I'm just reading that too.
Zero talking about the fact that he used to be small, but we know that's who chose. Get out of here. Yeah, I'm the tallest in my family now, which is nice. But yeah, growing up, I was always the small kid. Like for anyone who's also small growing up, like you're kind of like you gotta like be someone somewhere else outside of that. Cause like it just
Yeah.
happened to be like I felt like in middle school, the popular kids were always like the people who were already super tall. Just
Right.
because it was just like I don't know, it's just like one of those things. I have no idea how to explain it, but um I was just always like the small little little kid walking around. I didn't get like bullied in middle school at all for being small, but it's just because I made friends with all like these really giant football players.
Okay.
So no one would ever mess with me. I
Yeah.
had like a good strong group.
Yeah.
Like I have friends, like all my friends were like over 6 foot in middle school. I was like the
Jeez.
smallest by like at least like I don't even know however much, like a foot smaller than everybody else. Like one of my friends, I think he's like 6'9" now, 6'9", 6'10". Like
Wow.
literally, I was friends with all these giants that were football players, and
Damn.
I don't know. I was just like that stereotype, like really small kid that was like just like friends with people because they were funny, and that was like
Hmm.
all I had. That was all I had going for me.
Bro, I know the feeling. I mean, I'm still short, but I was like you. I was like
How tall? How
under.
tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
You're 5'4". You know what? You're not. I think. Do you know Short Stacked at
How tall
all
is
on
he?
Twitch? I think he's 5'3". Like I'm not even lying. He might be
Really?
5'3". He's either 5'3" or 5'4".
Yeah, I just saw a recent Twitter post with him and his friends, and then I noticed how short he really was. So I
Yes,
wanted to ask
yes,
how short he was or how
yes.
tall he was.
He's either 5'3" or 5'4".
He looks
Look
five
at
four.
that. There you go. Look at that. You're not you're
Damn.
not you're not alone in the short king gang.
Dude, how'd you get to 6 foot though?
Dude, magic, I guess. I have no idea.
Did you like did you like sleep or eat a lot or something?
Growing up, I always ate a lot.
Okay.
Um, but like it was one of those things where like when I was like younger, I had like a super fast metabolism. So anything I ate just was like gone. Like I could like scarf down. Like it doesn't matter. I would like scarf down. Like even now, I kind of struggle trying to gain weight when I work out.
Okay.
I think like even going into college, I think I only weighed 125 pounds my freshman year of college. So I was 18. So I was like, over my whole life, I was severely, pretty severe, not severely, but I was underweight.
Okay.
Um, so thank God, like now, like finally, now that I'm a little bit older, my metabolism is slowed down. So like I
Yeah.
can actually, try to gain weight or I don't like lose it. Like when I was a sophomore in college, there was like a 2 week period during like finals where I was like super stressed. I
Hmm.
wasn't eating like that much. Like I was eating 3 meals, but it wasn't like, healthy 3 meals.
Yeah.
I wasn't working out. Like I was like in that, like, that just final stress. Like everyone who's been to college knows about the final
Yeah.
stress that last week where you're just getting
Right.
pounded by test after test.
Hmm.
Um, I like, I think I think I had lost 15 pounds. I was 150 and I dropped
Jeez.
15 pounds in 2 weeks. And like
Wow.
150 at 6 feet tall isn't a lot. So to
Yeah.
lose that 15 pounds, like my metabolism was just overdoing itself. It's just like until now, like finally I don't really lose weight that much anymore, which is, really good. I'm glad I can finally do that. But like in order to gain weight, I have to use like mass gainer. I have to like make sure I'm working out every single day. Like
Yeah.
gaining weight for me is like super difficult. And I know it's like it's one of those issues that I know there's people out there that are like, oh, you're so lucky. I wish I had your problem. But it's just like one of those things where like you like don't know unless you have the problem. And like it's just like one of those things. It's just like a different side of like a weight issue.
Hmm. How much do you weigh now?
So now I'm 165, which I would say is like
Okay.
a pretty healthy weight for 6 foot.
Yeah.
Um, but I think like I remember like when I was a freshman in college, I was like, dude, if I could just get to 150, that would be like the perfect weight. That'd be awesome. Like if I could
Yeah.
like that's how hard it was for me to gain weight. We're like 150,
Mm.
which is still like I mean, I wouldn't say it's underweight, but it's pretty close to underweight for 6 foot.
Yeah.
Like that was to me like end game. Like if I could get to that in my life, once in my life, hit 150, I'd be
Mm-hmm.
great. I'd be huge.
Mm-hmm.
But then like obviously I got to 150. I was like, gotta be more, gotta be more.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, I mean, it's just one of those things. Everyone's got their,
Yeah.
separate body issues, and I feel like it's either one way or the other. Either you struggle to gain weight or you struggle to lose weight. Everyone's got their issue.
Yeah. I'm like 150. I'm like 5'4", 150.
That's pretty good though. Like
Yeah.
that's healthy weight, I think.
I'm like, I guess I'm a little stocky. I don't know. I have a little bit of meat. So
I think
154,
it's better.
150.
I
Yeah.
I think it's better to be like a little closer on the overweight side than on the underweight side,
Mhm.
personally. But
Yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, my little brother, dude, he is a tank. My little brother is a tank. He's 5'7", and I think he's 170. I think he
Oh,
outweighs me now.
jeez. Okay.
Like he's just this little tank. He's going into the military, so he's
Okay.
just in that mindset of just like, man, works out every day. He eats
hmm
chicken like 7 times a day, chicken and
Oh, okay.
rice. Like he's like,
So he's like
literally,
pretty built.
oh yeah,
Okay.
he's very built.
Okay.
I'll probably make a Twitter post because I'm seeing him for 4th of July, and you'll
Okay.
see it. You'll see him on that.
Okay.
But he's like this really short, like a bulldog. Like that's the best way to describe it. He's like a bulldog build,
Uh-huh.
where he's just like tiny but like super muscular. Like
Uh-huh.
he's like that type of body type.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he's I don't know how he does it, man, because he'll send me like Snapchat videos of him cooking because he does like meal prep, and it'll literally be a Snapchat video of him putting a tray of chicken that's like 20 chicken breasts into the oven. He's like, "Yep,
Wow.
there's my week of food." I'm
Wow.
like, dude, that's just like, I don't know how you push through that, because at some point you got to get to the point where you're like, this does not taste good.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty your brother's pretty disciplined.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, more so than me, especially in the working out and lifting side of things. But that's definitely got to be partially, his end game of being in the military. Obviously, he has to be
For sure.
disciplined.
Yeah. Definitely. Dude, I wish I had your growth spurt in high school. I was waiting for that, but it never came. I was
Dude,
waiting for the
mine
6
was
foot, man.
Mine was like overnight, bro. I remember when I like went back to school after summer, because I was like, I think it was like I went from 5'2" to 5'8", so I took like a 6-inch growth spurt over summer.
Yeah.
And then the rest after that was kind of like gradual.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like freshman to sophomore year, I went like 6 inches, and then it was just like 2 inches, 1 inch, and then another inch between high school and
Mhm.
college. But yeah, dude, that 6 inch like spurt, it killed me. Like honestly, I had really bad knee problems
Right.
because of it.
Yeah.
Like just like my body just didn't catch up to the fact that it jumped 6 inches.
Right.
So like all
Yeah.
through high school, I had really bad knee problems. I think it's called like jumper's knee, I think is what people call it.
Right.
So I like if I did any like physical activity, running or whatever, I was always having to wear like compression bands or whatever around my knees.
Yeah.
And it was like people would always like ask, like, people would always like think I'm like lying, but it's like one of those things. But like, why would I put myself through that? Why would I wear these bands all day? And
Yeah.
it's like, for anyone who's had jumper's knee, they know it's just like one of those things where like as soon as you start doing like physical activity, running, whatever, the pain just creeps up, and it's just like not like it's more of like a dull pain that's just there, and you're just like sitting there like, damn, I wish I would have grown slower so that maybe it wouldn't have happened. But
Sure.
I keep seeing Jake act that Zero still believes he's 6 foot. Lol.
Yeah, I know people that go through crazy growth spurts, they have those same like knee issues, right? They go through that pain.
It was awful.
Yeah.
Awful. But
Yeah.
obviously in the end, glad I hit the spurt.
Oh yeah, man. I still dream to be 6 foot.
So you played high school basketball at your 5'4". You're balling out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, I played 2 years in varsity, and my team wasn't like state championship good, but we were like, we won our league.
So you're strong. You had a strong team.
we had a good team. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think our high school won league after our year, and this was like 10 plus years ago. This was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were a pretty good team, and like I was like a role player, I did start
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
games, but like, yeah, I just played my role. I got my minutes though. I got my minutes, and I wasn't that
Yeah.
bad for a short guy, short Asian guy playing basketball.
Yeah.
I
You
wasn't
had the
too bad.
handles, huh? You had the handles on him.
I did. I was like pretty skilled. I was still like obviously undersized and not super athletic. So it's the skills and the IQ that really
Oh
got
yeah,
me
it's
through.
all about
Yeah.
the vision, the
Right.
on court vision.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a decent basketball player. I'm not bad. And I actually coached like during college and after for a little bit. And I did like private training for people. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So you were a big basketball guy then.
Yeah, I
You were
was.
coaching.
Yeah. And I still am a basketball fan, but I
You
don't
coached
like
like a whole team, or you just did like lessons?
I did lessons and I coached for like a frost off team for an all boys school,
Mhm.
and I coached like 2 seasons for a women's team for a junior college.
Oh, so you were a big coach if you're doing junior college
Nah, not
coaching.
really. I mean,
Big man coach.
women's coach
Were you
in the
get wait, were you
JC.
getting paid? Were you getting
I
paid?
was, yeah, but it's not much.
Professional coach, professional basketball
Collegiate.
coach.
I was a collegiate
Collegiate,
coach. Yeah,
collegiate basketball coach. Put it on the
yeah,
resume.
definitely on
Slap
the
it on the.
resume. But the thing is,
Yeah.
I don't coach anymore.
Why'd you give it up?
Ah man, because I just it wasn't for me. It wasn't
What'd you
something
not
I
like
was
about
in.
it?
It's hard to get your players to be like driven and to like, I like if you have
Part of the
to.
coaching game.
Yeah, that's
The
part of the
locker
coaching
room.
game. But it's
Controlling the
like,
locker room. Everyone always says that on Twitter. Oh, he doesn't control the locker room.
yeah, I don't know. It was just hard to see myself doing that for the rest of my life. I feel like
I mean, you
that's
made it
just
pretty
one.
far. Not
Yeah, I
not a lot of
did.
people are out there can say, yeah, I was a collegiate basketball coach. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
can do that. So
Yeah, yeah, it was cool. I enjoyed the experience, but in the end, it's just I don't know if it's what I wanted to do in life.
gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in the future, like if I were to have like kids and stuff, I wouldn't mind like coaching like my kids' team, something
Yeah,
like that,
like a little
just for
league team.
fun. Yeah,
Hey, you
but
never know.
nothing.
Maybe that sprouts you into a real coach, into NBA. From
Nah, I
little league
doubt
to
it.
NBA.
I doubt it. Jake asked what NBA team I support. I mean the LA teams, since I'm in SoCal. Yeah.
So what's the LA teams? Well, you
Yeah,
gotta pick
Clippers
one,
and
surely.
Lakers.
You gotta
Yeah,
pick
I
one,
like
surely.
Lakers more, but like, I watched during the Kobe Shaq era when they were winning their
Uh,
championships, but like whenever Laker games weren't on, I'd always watch like Clipper games.
but you're like a Lakers fan at heart, then.
Yeah, I would
You
say
had to
so.
choose one or the other.
Yeah, if I had to
You collect?
choose.
Do you collect any memorabilia for your Lakers?
I don't. No.
No.
I only have a Kobe jersey and a Laker hat, but that's it.
Hey, there you go. That's something.
Yeah, that's something. So, um, but yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I played a lot of basketball, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But I do want to ask. I want to transition into how you got into streaming and
Oh shoot.
how you got into FIFA and Apex.
The
Where
big
did that all start?
questions.
Yeah.
So I'll start with okay, so I all my life I've always gamed. I've been a gamer out the womb. I had a controller in my hands.
Yeah.
Like like my first console, I was a PS1. I'm not like old enough to remember like actually playing it, but like
Yeah.
I played it because like my parents talk about us playing it. So it's like one of those things. But so like I had PS1, PS2, PS3. I had every generation of the PlayStation. But then I also was, GameCube. GameCube, arguably one of the best consoles of all time. They just hit different. The GameCube games just hit so different.
Yeah.
Then I had like, Game Boys, DS's. Like I was like gaming on all fronts of that aspect. So I got into FIFA in high school. Actually, it would have been before. I was like more of a casual player of FIFA for the longest time. Like I can remember playing the standalone 2010 World Cup FIFA.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I must have already been playing FIFA prior to that. So I couldn't tell you like when my first FIFA was, maybe like '08 or '09 or something. But I've always been like from that before then, I was like always like a casual FIFA player, just kind of like playing against friends or against my family members. I didn't play like Ultimate Team. I would do like career mode and things like that. Um, my main game then would have been Call of Duty. Like I was really good at Call of Duty when I was younger. But then in high school, one of my best friend, he um was really big into FIFA Ultimate Team. I had never really tried Ultimate Team. I kind of like maybe dipped into it like a little bit before that. And this was when like pink slips and all that was really big, and there was no transfer limits or anything. This was like prime FIFA, as some people might say it was.
Which FIFA was this?
Um, it had to have been my, if I were to guess, I would say right after my freshman year. So that would have been like, I have to think now, like 20, maybe FIFA 14 or FIFA
14.
15.
Okay, got it.
So somewhere around there. I would say probably FIFA 14 it was. It must have been. Um, is when I like really started getting into like Ultimate Team and all that. But then Apex, I played season 1 Apex. Like when Apex first came out, it was like really hyped up. I played it for like a decent amount of time when it first came out. But then it was just one of those things where like I was like wasn't super interested into it. Um, but at the time, I don't think I really had a PC. I think I was just playing my console. Um, and then when I had gotten a PC, that's when I started playing Apex on PC on keyboard and mouse, and I really got into it then. And then I played it kind of on and off until like kind of recently, I would say probably in the last year, I've been playing it pretty consistently. I'm not like a pro by any means, but I think I'm probably better at Apex than I am at FIFA. Like if we like
Okay.
compare, um, I don't know. I don't really know. Like it's just one of those things. Like I just picked it back up and I was like, I really enjoy this game. Um, and then as far as getting started on streaming, which was the main question, there was just the backstory leading up to it.
Yeah.
I started streaming October. I want to say it was October 10th, 2022 as my or 2020, sorry.
2020.
Was my
Okay.
first ever stream.
Wow.
Um and the reason I had started streaming was, I'd always been playing all this time. And then I just recently kind of started watching streamers. Like before then, I was like a YouTube guy. I would just watch YouTube videos. I wasn't really into watching streams. But then like I started getting into watching FIFA streamers and kind of watching like smaller streamers. And it was like I'm like watching these guys who like the main person who like really kind of kicked me into doing um streaming was Jose and Chill. I don't know if you
Yeah. Yeah.
know who
Uh-huh.
Jose and Chill is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd been watching Jose like pretty much every time he streamed. Um, and I'd end up becoming a mod for him and becoming like really close friends with Jose. And I was like, you know what? Like, Jose sits here, he does it. He has like all these people. It's like really cool. Like that he has like this. I was more intrigued by the small streamer side of streaming than the larger streamer side of things. Right. Cause
Yeah.
like obviously for big streamers, their focus is, content creation, whatever. But for small streamers, because like you're actually able to talk to people, like I feel like there's that extra like I don't know intimacy or whatever you would like to call it, where
Sure.
like
Yeah.
you can actually interact with your community because it's with like let's say like Castro, his chat flies a million miles a minute, like he can't read his chat realistically.
Yeah.
So I just really liked like the interacting of that. Like if I could get myself to like 50 viewers, like that would be peak for me. Like I wouldn't really care to go further than that. Um,
Okay.
but it was just like one of those things where like I already play video games all the time. I already play it all the time. Why not throw a camera on? Why not throw a stream on? Like it was just one of those things where it's just like it just made sense. I had the money to buy a camera, I had the money to buy whatever else, and to get me started streaming. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm just, I might as well. Zeroiqtv actually was not my first Twitch name.
Hmm.
My first Twitch name was ZeroIQ Streamer.
Okay.
Um, my logo was like a brain with a crown on it. Um, it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot, but it was just like I rebranded myself. I don't know when I rebranded myself. Might have been had to have been several months ago. The reasoning was Zero IQ Streamer was just too long. I just didn't like how long it was, so shortened it Zero IQ TV. Unfortunately, with the underscore on Twitch.
Hmm.
But on everything else, it's Zero IQ TV. And I really love my logo. I don't know if you ever see my logo, but it's just like literally just like a TV with like a brain that has like caution tape on it.
Yeah.
I just really liked it. And then the whole ZIQ thing was just like I wanted people to know that I'm not like a serious gamer. Like I just like,
Okay.
I'm here to have fun. I'm gonna be Jake said ZIQ streamer clear. Just the idea was like, here to have fun. Like just, I'm not, super serious professional gamer by any means. So that was like kind of the vibe I was going for. I know there's a lot of people who try to go the competitive route. Like if I could go the competitive way eventually, that'd be sick. But that's like, not really a top priority. Really just kind of it was at a point where when I would just like I've never had like a ton of friends, right? And it was at a
Mhm.
point where I was like at a lull where like I really wasn't really talking to a lot of people. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just stream. Maybe I'll meet
Yeah.
some people. And
Sure.
I've definitely met so many cool people like yourself
Yeah.
through
Appreciate it.
streaming.
Mhm.
That are like people like are really cool to talk to. And now like I have so many people that like I can chat to or I can play other games with or whatever else. And um it's just just one of those things where like one day it was an idea and then the next day I said, screw it, I'm gonna do it. And I just
Yeah.
got myself into it and that was it. I mean, that was it. I didn't really have like a true like drive, like really um like there was no like, oh, like I want it for the money or I want it for the fame or whatever have you. It was more so like I'm already playing games all the time.
Yeah.
Might as well just stream it as well. Like it was just one of those things. Um, but yeah, I started obviously as a FIFA streamer, only streaming FIFA, nothing else, for the longest time. Uh, but just I don't know that I'm gonna play that much FIFA from here on out, and even into the next FIFA. I don't know how much I'm gonna play just because I don't know that I enjoy it as much as I used to enjoy it.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't know what my plan is from here, but I think variety is just the way to go for me. Obviously, viewership. Like there's just those ups and downs of it. As a
Sure.
streamer, where like on one hand, like you don't like really you're not like super focused on the viewers, but like you like having someone there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even if I just have one viewer who's talking to me, that's like so cool. But like if I'm sitting here and nobody's talking for like hours, I'm like, it's a rough one.
Right. Right. Right.
So like when I would stream FIFA, there was a point where I was streaming FIFA like pretty like a lot quite often. It was must have been last year, like team of the year to team of the season period. Um, where I was getting probably like 20 viewers. I was like averaging like 15, 20 viewers. And that was like my peak of where I got to. But then like, there's real life stuff that goes on, of
Sure.
course. So
Yeah.
I had to step away from streaming. It wasn't like anything serious. It was just like I couldn't hold a schedule anymore.
Mhm.
And I think consistency is probably one of the biggest things of streaming is people knowing, oh, it's whatever day I know Zero is going to be live.
Yeah.
It's just like I just couldn't be consistent anymore. I was kind of just doing random streams like here, there. And I was decided like, you know what, I'm just going to take a break.
Mhm.
And maybe if I get to a time where I can consistently stream with a schedule, then I'll come back. I think I think I took like a 3-month break probably
Okay.
from last FIFA to this FIFA. And then when this FIFA started, I started streaming again. Um, but again, I think I had like a weird schedule for a little while. Until like my fiance started working night shifts. And then it made it a lot easier for me to schedule because of that. Like,
Okay.
um, so yeah, and then that's here we are now. I'm trying to do variety gaming,
Yeah.
trying to break myself into the Apex scene. So I've
Yeah.
been streaming a lot of Apex, I put out my first Apex TikTok the other day. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much wraps my streaming and creating capabilities. I tried to do YouTube like I had told you prior to this pod,
Yeah.
but the editing just killed me. I just couldn't do it, so I gave it up. I don't have that like I know there's people out there who like they start streaming and like they're like, I'm going to become a creator full time. And that's what they do. They grind, they
Sure.
crank out content, they crank out videos, and that's what they're doing. And like, props to that, but I just couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
I'm more of a casual streamer, if anything.
Sure.
I don't stream for the money or I don't stream for whatever. Obviously if I get a check from Twitch, hey, nice 12,000 FIFA points.
Yeah.
Like any money I've ever gotten from Twitch, I always just threw back into the stream one way or
Okay.
another, or into Twitch or what
Yeah.
have you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember when I first had my first ever affiliate stream, like after I had just hit affiliate, I think it was like a month, maybe just over a month after I'd started streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got 200 subs from like two random people who never came into my stream ever again after that day.
Whoa. That's
Um,
crazy.
so like I think I got like that stream, I think I got like $600 or something like that. And all that money just went to either like I don't even know, like buying FIFA points for pack openings to do on
Uh-huh.
streams, or I gifted a lot of subs to people during that
Okay.
period of time just because I
Mm-hmm.
felt like, I didn't need the money and I was like, I'm gonna
Sure.
give back. So I mean, that was just how I saw it. Is like I never saw it as really as like monetary, like for that reason. It was just kind of like I'm already here, might as well do it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe now I'll start being more smart with my money, but more likely they'll probably just go to buying real life cards to collect.
Okay. Got it. Damn. So, yeah, I mean, how have you enjoyed the streaming? Like, I feel like you already shared everything, but like, what are your thoughts on you streaming for this long? And um,
I'd
yeah,
be lying if I said like streaming's always enjoyable. It definitely has its ups and downs, and you know, even if like you're having problems in your personal life, you're always like putting on, that almost like that front of like,
sure,
we let everything in life go outside and we're gonna, hang out. And it does definitely gets tiring. I know a lot of people like, it's just you get worn out streaming. Like
yeah,
you definitely have that burnout where you get to a period of time where you're like, I don't know if I want to keep doing this, or it's definitely ups and downs. It's not all rainbows and butterflies like people might think streaming is. There was like a long time where like it was very hard for me to have the motivation to stream. I felt like I was forcing myself to stream. And I think the main reason behind that was because I wasn't enjoying FIFA for a long time. That's why I went to the variety gaming side of things, because I was like, look, like I started streaming because I enjoyed gaming. I don't
yeah,
want to hate gaming because like I feel like, or hate streaming because of something else, because like I feel like I have to do this or I have to do that.
mm-hmm,
So for so long I was like locked into FIFA, and I felt like, I have to stream FIFA, I have to play FIFA, that's what I do. I have, whatever reason it was, and I just decided eventually, like I've probably been doing variety for the past like month, maybe longer than a month. Um, and it's just a lot better mentally. Like it's not as draining because I can like play whatever I want. Like if I'm not enjoying a game, I'll go play another game. Like I've put myself first rather than the viewership. Because I think like at the beginning it was never about viewers, but then it, kind of reels you in a little bit where you're like, oh, like I want to get more viewers. I want to get this. I want to get that.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I lost myself in that. And I was starting to really hate streaming because I didn't like playing the game that I was playing on stream all the time. So like I was having streams that I was just like cutting short. I was like, I'm good. I'm out. So I think now that I do variety, it's a lot better mentally. It is mentally draining, I think, to stream. I think people don't really realize that. So that's why I started doing the variety thing. And then yeah, I mean now I'm enjoying it, but again, it's just the ups and downs. Like the streams where I'll stream and I'll have one viewer or two viewers, and it's just the name of the game when you're switching games. Like obviously, like you look at these people that are variety streamers, like I don't even know, Nick Merckx, I guess could maybe be considered, Tim the Tatman, like all these people who are variety streamers, they play different games, but what people don't understand is they grinded a different game first, that they mained the game to get to where they are, or they gained a lot of traction. And as soon as they started gaining that traction is when they snuck into variety, and that's why they can do that and maintain their viewership.
Yeah.
But when you're like trying to grow as a variety streamer, I feel like it's very tough. You really need to push other platforms or what have you, and that's what I'm trying to do now is trying to get myself into the variety side of things, grow my audiences on different games, and hopefully go from there. But I mean, I think probably like a month ago, like I said, I just started kind of doing the variety thing. I think probably like a month ago, I was talking to like Slater AC. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
Bristow, I know you know him. And Jose. I was talking to all three of them, and I was like, honestly, guys, like I could see myself quitting streaming before the end of the year. Like it was a point where I just like really wasn't enjoying it. I don't think I'm like locked into streaming for however long. Like I couldn't put a timeline on how long I'll keep streaming or if I'm gonna ever quit streaming. I don't know. Like I'm really just playing it by ear. Like if I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. If I get to a point where I really hate it, I'm just gonna stop because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people get locked into the state where they're like, oh, I've already done this so far, or I want to keep going. And just in anything, people might get into that mental spot where they're like, they're not enjoying it, but they feel like they've done so much, committed so much towards it that they feel like they have to keep going. You know what I mean? They feel trapped by all the commitment and time and money they put into it already.
Yeah.
That they feel like they have to keep carrying it on, whether it's like a hobby or whatever else. That, I think that you just, sometimes you just gotta put yourself first. You gotta decide, I'm not enjoying it. I know I've put this much into it, but I'm not having fun. I need to do something else. And so that's where I'm at. Kind of at like just playing it by ear. If I'm enjoying it, I'm enjoying it. If I'm not, then maybe I decide I take a break or even quit.
Sure.
But right now, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming through in the chat. And thank you guys. I appreciate you guys coming through and being active. But yeah, I feel UAV. I know he's saying he's on the boat too, and I resonate with what you say too, because even as a smaller streamer like me, and I just did a 2-year anniversary stream too. Like I just finished. I've streamed for 2 years now, and even I
remember
those
coming
thoughts.
in for that.
Yeah. I think you caught me while I was like doing push-ups or something.
yeah, you were doing push-ups.
Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely relate to that because even I have those thoughts where is this like really worth my time? I do enjoy the community. I enjoy talking to you and like UAV and all the other guys, all my other viewers, and I always have a good time. But sometimes like, is it really worth the time that I'm putting in? Should I put my time into other things more so in my career? And I have those days where I don't feel like streaming. I don't feel like creating content, and I wonder if investing all this time is really worth. It's just really worth putting into creating content. So I totally get it, man. I totally resonate with UAV and yourself, Sam. So I think for me too, it's just, especially with the podcast, I enjoy podcasts. Like I think hard to say if I enjoy it more than streaming, but I really do enjoy it, and I don't feel burnt out doing podcasts. Streaming, I
Mhm.
do at times, but that's why I do want to keep on going because I do genuinely enjoy what I do. But again, like you could have those moments, those days where you wonder, you question whether it's worth pursuing or spending time doing this for whatever
Yeah.
reason. Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like it's gonna come down to like I can like definitively say I'm not gonna stream forever. There's gonna be a point where I do quit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be for like, oh, like I don't appreciate my community and that's why I'm quitting or what have you. It's not gonna be anything to do with anyone I've met or anyone that watches me. It has nothing to do with any of that. I think if I do quit, it's going to be because I decide to fully focus on my career or fully focus on myself, whether that's hitting the gym or just, mentally, getting into that thing. I could see that. Like I said, I could see that coming soon. Like there could be,
Mm.
like I could quit by the end of the year. And it wouldn't be necessarily because I gave up on streaming or because I hate streaming or what have you. It might just be because, it's time to move on to the next chapter in my life.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm getting to that age where it's time to decide type of thing.
Yeah.
To get start doing, adult stuff. Like I'm
Sure.
getting
Yeah.
married, so it's just like
Yeah.
um it's just one of those things where I'm gonna have to decide, like, maybe it's time to focus on other things, and this might be what it is,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, that's understandable and that's fair, man. Like I know there's other things going on in people's lives, and for you, your next stage is getting married, maybe starting a family soon,
Yeah,
And yeah,
exactly. So it's
right?
just
So,
like, yeah, there's other things, it's just gonna be like
yeah,
that. Like I think if I ever did quit streaming, I'd probably still like try to interact with people.
sure.
Um, but it would just be one of those things where it's just like, you got to choose. Like eventually, you can't do
Right.
everything at once. Eventually, it's gonna get to the point where you know, gotta choose one way or another. And like, if I um, if I like really blew up, I think that would be like the only thing that would really make me keep streaming. And
Mm,
that's just because then streaming could become my career. But if it gets to the
sure.
point where I have to choose between streaming and my career,
Mm-hmm.
then obviously there's only one choice to make. It's
Yeah.
choosing my career and
Right.
focusing on that.
Sure.
So if for some reason like I blow up like crazy and streaming can become my career, awesome. I'm all for it. I really enjoy that. But realistically, how many people actually do blow up? It's very
Yeah.
slim.
Yeah.
Um, to like make a living off of streaming, you probably have to be averaging like 500 viewers, I would say,
Yeah.
to make like a survivable living. That's not like super comfortable. That's just like I can do it full time and still, have an apartment.
Yeah.
um so yeah, it's just gonna be one of those things where like I eventually am gonna have to decide. Like this week I've been super drained. Like um I've worked overtime all week at my job.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna hit because like my like week starts Saturday to Monday or Saturday to Friday. So it's like the weekend is like the first half of the week. It's like next week's schedule. I think I'm gonna hit like 55 hours. And it's,
Wow.
it's just gonna be one of those things where like, you know, I like, I'm trying to start getting to working out and things like that. So it's gonna be eventually life's gonna get in the way. It's not gonna be,
Sure.
you know, really me like hating streaming or anything. It's just gonna be one of those things where I'm like, okay, it's time for me to do me. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And those are very fair points. And like even for me too, I would say like I guess I'm on the same page in that I don't really have a timeline of how long I'm gonna do it. For the time being, I do enjoy it, so I'm gonna keep doing it until I do get to a point where maybe I do have to make a big life decision where I do have to give this up. So I don't know when that'll be, or I don't even know if I'll even give it up. But I think what I always tell myself is just, be in the present and just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey while I still have it. And
Exactly.
yeah, so I just
Yeah,
go by that, you know.
yeah, definitely. Just enjoy it while it lasts,
Yeah,
and look back at it as a positive, not as like a, oh, I wasted all my time doing this. Because like
sure.
there's gonna be people from like the outside looking in who will be like, oh, you quit streaming, but what about all that time, all that money, all that whatever that you put into
Right.
it? But you know, I'll look back and say I enjoyed doing it. So at the
Right.
time, like it wasn't a waste of money, and it's still not to me because I did enjoy, you know, doing what I was doing. So it's just like eventually, yeah, life's just getting in the way. There's gonna be a point
Yeah.
where you're gonna have to make a big life decision on something. Like for me, if I were to guess, right, if I keep streaming through like whatever, like if I keep streaming right now, I think like eventually I'm gonna want to move, like I said, to North Carolina.
Mhm.
If I'm still streaming by that point, that move to North Carolina would probably be the end. I'd probably just not start streaming again after that.
Mm. Got it.
Um, if I do even it lasts that long. But like right now, as you said, enjoying it. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing it. I think what I'd really like to start doing, especially now that FIFA's died down, um, is to get streamer stuff going, like with other streamers.
Yeah.
So last year, I don't know if a lot of people would know this, but I hosted an Among Us with a ton of FIFA streamers.
Okay.
Like I had like Slater, Jose. There's this female streamer, Lekka. I don't know if you know who she is, but she quit to focus on herself.
Mhm.
Um, Mr. Briss, I think Bristol was in it. I think Diego was in it. Simply DGR. I think Teddy was in it. Teddy127.
Okay.
Like I had like this huge group of streamers that we filled like a whole Among Us game, so it was 10 of us.
Yeah.
Which is like it's not easy to get 10 streamers together for an event or
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got different schedules in their lives, everyone's got different
Right.
streaming schedules. But I somehow managed to collect 10 streamers to get an Among Us game, and it was like such a vibe. Like everyone was like, it's Among Us, and you're playing with all these other streamers you relate to on some level. And that was really fun. So I think I might start trying like where maybe like once a week I like invite streamers to come play something with me, whether it's who knows, like a silly game like Fall Guys or like Phasmophobia. I play that a lot with Slater and Brista and
Mhm.
Jose. That's our like group game where like if we stream together, we play some Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
Like I might just start like trying to reach out to people, be like, hey, look, I'm trying to do a weekly thing where once a week I stream with you know whoever, and we get it together, and then maybe we do a big one with like 10 people again.
Sure.
um but yeah, like I just feel like that'd be really fun
I
to
know
do.
we played Mario Strikers last week.
Yes,
Yeah,
Mario
we played some
Strikers.
co-op Mario Striker. That was a lot of fun.
Dude, yes, we found out that people have never turned off Mario Strikers since the day it came out, and they've played it 24/7 ever since. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. But yeah, dude, Mario Strikers is so fun.
Yeah, it is.
I've played that like a decent amount with like I said, like I was telling you, like I played it before we played.
Mhm.
I've been playing with my fiance. Like we have a good time
Okay.
playing together.
Nice.
We've been doing like the cups. So we already finished all the cups, but after you finish it, there's like a harder version of it. So now we're like, oh shoot, I don't know if we're gonna get through it, but yeah, it's really fun. Definitely a good game. But yeah, I think you've sparked the idea. Oh, I think I had the idea, but I never really put it into motion. I think I might like maybe put like a mass tweet out or something and be like, hey, tag who you would like to see me play games with and whatnot, and try to get people involved and
Mhm.
reach out to people I'm close with and try to get
Yeah.
them on streams and
Yeah.
just do like, yeah, because I feel like it's at that point, especially for FIFA, and like obviously I'm involved in the FIFA community, so like most of the people um I'm friends with other streamers, they're FIFA streamers. So like now that FIFA's kind of died down, I think people are going to be more willing to play other games on a stream. Versus like during team of the year, no one's going to leave FIFA, or during
Yeah.
team of the season, everyone's grinding packs or whatever. But now that's kind of died down. I feel like it's a good time to start trying to get people together and start these streamer games. Ooh, we could call it the streamer games. I don't know. We'll figure
Oh
it out.
yeah, streamer guys.
Maybe I'll make it a title. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
No, that's a great idea, and yeah. Um Hey
So
man, if
keep
you
an eye
want
out in your
to, yeah,
DMs. Yeah, I'll
definitely,
let
I
you know.
definitely will. Um, have you actually met anybody in person through Twitch?
I've never met anybody in person through Twitch. I actually did try to go see Slater, but
Okay,
the timeline just didn't match up because
okay,
he like has work or whatever. Obviously there's real life stuff. So
sure, yeah,
I do plan on meeting people in person finally for the first time
okay.
for TwitchCon. I think
Oh, okay.
it's in San Diego.
Wait, when is that?
Um,
What do you know what the dates
it's
are?
at the end of the year. Is it? Oh my god, it's kind of getting. It has to be October if I were to guess. Let me look it up.
Oh, damn,
Um,
should I go? I'm
I'm
about to
trying to
go.
go, and I'm trying to like encourage any other like streamer that I know to also go, so we can like finally meet everybody in person.
I've been to
Um,
TwitchCon before.
it's October 7th through the 9th.
7th through the 9th. Okay, got it. Yeah, I
I
actually been before.
wonder.
I've been to one when it was in San Jose. I think it was like 2019, 2018, 2019. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've never I've never been to any type of convention. Period.
Okay.
So it was just like I know that someone lives there in San Diego. I'm not gonna say who because I don't know if they would like me to say that, but whoever knows him knows he lives there, but I don't know if you're like me, whatever.
Okay.
But I know a streamer who does live in San Diego. So I could probably like crash on his couch, or even if
I
I
think
just
I
had to
know who
book
you're
an
talking about.
Airbnb or something there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
uh and so obviously he's gonna be there. So at the very least meet one person. Um so yeah, I think that would be like super fun to do.
Yo, Jake saying zero meet and greet.
Zero meet and greet. Oh
Me
my
and Trey at the front
gosh.
of the queue.
To get a pic of zero. Oh my gosh.
You know what? I'll have to keep those dates in mind. Maybe I might go.
Yeah, now that I didn't even realize like that's not that far away,
Yeah,
realistically.
only a couple months away,
Uh,
so true height.
uh
See his true height. They'll get to
true,
see if
see
you're
my
really
true
6 foot.
height. I'm done, man. Um, yeah. So, oh shoot, I might have to start like really looking into like booking like an Airbnb or something for that. I really do want to try to meet people. So yeah, I'll probably even tweet out like, hey, I'm gonna try to be at TwitchCon, and I want to meet whoever, any other streamers that are going or whatever. Um, just to yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd love to meet these people in person. Like I've talked to so many people for hours and hours and
Yeah,
whatnot. So I think it would just be very surreal, like to finally meet somebody in person for that.
right.
So.
Yeah, hey, Jake and Trey, I'll be right there with you, taking a pic with Zero. Stand next to each
uh,
other? Oh my
oh
gosh.
my gosh! You see the end of that to realize there isn't much of difference in height. Get
Damn,
out of
dude.
here.
Straight burn.
Jake
Jake
just
with
wants
the
to
roast,
go
man.
take a picture with me because he knows he's taller than me. That's the only reason.
Damn. Um, but yeah, I actually met 4 people so far through Twitch.
Oh, who have you met?
One was another streamer. His handle is the 17136. He's a smaller streamer, but last time I talked to him, he was like trying to get into competitive FIFA in the
Mm.
competitive FIFA scene. I met him. I met one of my mods. We played soccer together. I invited him
Oh,
out to play
okay.
soccer. Yeah, he lived close by in Cali.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, I met.
Oh, so you're in Cali, right? Oh,
I'm in
I didn't even
Cali.
like I didn't even like click the time difference together in my mind to think that you were in Cali. So you have no excuse. You gotta go. You gotta go to the TwitchCon. You're
Yeah,
already
San
there.
Diego is only like an hour 30 away, so I could
There you
definitely
go.
just drive here. Yeah,
You have to go. You have to go.
we could get some good Mexican food.
Dude, I've never been to California ever.
Okay.
So it would definitely be cool just to even go to California in general. Both my parents have been several times. My dad was born in San Diego, but I myself have never made it to that area. So it'd be definitely pretty cool to go and meet everybody and just have a good time.
Oh yeah, I mean San Diego is a great city. It's a beautiful city, and it's like if you go to TwitchCon, I feel like yeah, you experience Cali and SD.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to start talking to people because that is creeping up. That is creeping up.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So,
I mean, I
um,
say that, but it's like 3.5 months away. But
but you do have to plan ahead if you're gonna like plan a trip. Go to
oh
TwitchCon.
yeah,
Yeah. So
for sure. So I'm definitely gonna have to start reaching out to people to see, try to
right.
convince them. Listen, I want to go. I want to meet people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I met another viewer as well. He like invited me to his home, and we just
No
chilled and
way.
play. Yeah, we just chilled and play games. Shout out
Were you
to
sc-
Alex.
were you scared?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
That's
I wasn't
good.
scared.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I was cool. I could defend myself. I train a little bit of martial arts, so I'm good.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah. And then who's the third guy or the fourth guy? I'm trying to remember. Um.
Whoever it is, I'm gonna go in your chat and spam his name until he responds and make sure he knows so you feel bad that you
Dang,
forget
I'm
who he
trying to
is.
think. Who did I meet? Was it another streamer? Oh man, I can't remember. I'm sorry. I can't remember
Oh
who it
no.
was. Yeah. It'll come to
I
mind.
hope they're listening or watching.
Oh, well, if you are, can you just like
Uh,
pop in and remind me? Had to
I just want
be,
to point
yeah.
out to anybody who's not here or anybody that's listening that my one of my first mods is in the chat right now watching the stream, and he
Mhm.
just said he thought I lived in California. So this whole time he's been my mod for like a year, for like literally like a year. He hasn't realized that I live in Florida and not California.
We need to unmod him.
Honestly, that might be an unmoddable offense.
Oh man.
Oh Lord.
Um, but let me ask you this. So I know we're gonna transition into something else, and I did want to talk about FIFA for a bit. So you already said that it's kind of dead. Well, it is sort of. It pretty much is, and you're not interested in playing anymore. After playing 22, I mean, what are your thoughts on the game? Like all the content and the gameplay and all that.
Um, I think um so I've always said this that people will never be pleased by EA. There's nothing EA can do that will please everybody. There's always going to be something. I know there's people who think we don't get enough content, which I think is ridiculous because I've always thought like we get content after content because obviously I played FIFA through times where it was team of the week. That was content. There's nothing else. It was just team of the week. And you were like, wow, like a team of the week bail would go for like 1 million coins. A team of the week bail. What would the team of the week bail go for now? Like maybe 10K discard price? Like, um, I think that it's just this snowball effect that EA is trapped in where in order to make everybody happy is to do more content, but then at the same time like as soon as they start doing less content they're going to enrage everybody because there's nothing released, blah blah blah. Like they're just trapped in this endless cycle of having to do more because it'll always be compared to previous years. Like they'll look back and be like, oh, last year had way more content, or what have you. Um, and I think that I personally, I don't think EA lacked it all in content this year. I think they did amazing content wise. I
Hmm.
think some people are like, oh, there wasn't enough. I think there was plenty. I think they had all kinds of things. I think the most dead content this year was the Adidas promo. It could have been amazing, but
Yeah.
they absolutely flopped on it.
Yeah.
Um, the fact that they made the final upgrade in April was ridiculous. I think that like
Right.
January. I think if they would have made it like January, where like right around team of the year, they made those cards upgrade, they would have been phenomenal and it would have been
Yeah.
great content. But they
Right.
stalled that out way too long. They were just trying to cash the bag from Adidas, and that was it.
Hmm.
I think that was the most wasted content of the year. Winter Wildcards was amazing. They've done this is the first year where we've had swap tokens for like every promo, or not every promo, but we've had swap tokens for a
Right.
lot of promos. We never had that.
Right.
That was really neat for EA to give grindable content that you don't have to pay money for. But I think they've, like Jake just said in the chat, they've overdone themselves.
Right.
Because of that, now if they slack next FIFA or future FIFAs, people are going to be disappointed because they've done so much this year. Um, Content wise, menu wise, FIFA was phenomenal this year. Gameplay wise, was not a huge fan, man. I was not a huge fan of the gameplay. Like I was telling you at the start, is
Yeah.
I've struggled this year. I'm just not as good at FIFA this year for whatever reason. I just can't wrap my head around it. Maybe I didn't play as much as I did before or something, but I think that gameplay was just not. I think it got very, very hyped up, especially new gen with hyper motion technology and all this other stuff. Everyone was like, oh, "This is supposed to be so realistic," and it just wasn't what it was hyped up to be. At least I don't think so. People might disagree, but I think it was overhyped gameplay wise. Um, and I mean, I keep saying like, oh, I don't know if I will buy the next one, but I'll probably will buy the next one if I'm being realistic with
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Yeah.
I think I would like to try to lower my expectations, but man, they released that trailer and you're just like, man, this is it. Like every FIFA, right? They release that trailer, they're like, oh, the new FIFA. I think FIFA does this thing every year where I don't know. I think a lot of people might agree with me that they release the game and the game's perfect. They release the game and you love the game. You play this game, you're like, wow, this is the best FIFA I've ever played. Patch one nukes it every single time. I don't think there's been a single FIFA that I have enjoyed past the first patch more than I enjoyed prior to the first patch.
Okay.
Like I feel like the first big patch every FIFA has, I mean, not like killed it for the rest of the FIFA, but it was better before, and it just was so much better before. Like, um, I think a lot of times they do too much in that first patch, and it just kind of kills it. Um, but it's just one of those things where they're trying to please everybody. They're never going to.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean that first patch, man, for me is lethal. I never enjoy the game like I do prior to the first patch. Like I know specifically if I can remember correctly, I think it was FIFA 19 where time finesses were first introduced into the game. Um, and they hit upper 90 every time. If
Mm-hmm.
you hit that green time finesse, it was in the back of the net if it didn't get blocked. And I loved it. There was nothing more satisfying than seeing the green time finesse because you know that was in the back of the net. And it was the only real way to get past EA's new AI defending, which is still insanely strong today. But in FIFA 19, I don't know if people remember, no one would control their defenders. They would just stick their controller on their midfielder and then they would let the defenders do their thing until they stole the ball. Like no one actually used defense
Mm-hmm.
in FIFA 19 because that's how strong the AI defending was. And to me, the only real way around it was the time finesse. Is if you could get that time finesse off, if they're AI defending, they're not going to get that block every time.
Mm-hmm.
But then first patch, boom, nerfed the time finesse. My favorite mechanic of all time got absolutely destroyed by that patch. I think it got better for this year's FIFA. I feel like the time finesse kind of got a little better. But that, yeah, I mean, the first patch just really hurts FIFA for me.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Yeah, those are a lot of good points. And have you actually watched? Do you know Inception?
Yeah, I've watched Inception, the movie.
No, no, no. The FIFA content creator.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Oh, you don't know who that is? Oh, okay.
No.
He does like player reviews and stuff, and then he just went
Uh-huh.
on a whole rant about next gen. I was wondering if you knew about that.
I'll have to look into it,
Okay.
but no, I have not. But I do want to point out, Jake said, "What alternatives do you want? If they change the game, you'll hate it." So I think my thing is that that first patch is very heavy. I feel like they throw a lot of things into that first patch, so that as soon as you play after that first patch, it just feels so different to me.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Um, so I do like how they introduced kind of halfway through the year. I don't even think they really announced it. They just started doing it where they um did the live tuning, I think they called it, or whatever it was, what it was they called it, and they would like, I don't even know like how it really worked, but it was like they would like do these small updates here and there based on
Yeah.
what the community wanted, or so they say. And I think I'd much rather small updates here and there versus big patches, because like obviously in this FIFA and past FIFAs, it was always one big patch, and then the next big patch, like maybe like minor tuning of like menus in between.
Mhm.
But I would much rather if gameplay patches were more often and smaller. Like I feel like they just did this big volume of patch, and then boom, the whole game is completely different. You got
Uh-huh.
to change how you play your formations and yada yada, and yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would just like if the patches came out um just in like batches or small amounts and gradually over time, rather than we get to like a month in and they slap us with a fat patch. Um and yeah. And I also feel like I feel like they should like do community trials for patches. I think it would be really cool to introduce where like um or even just like poll the community, like
Mhm.
run a poll to see what
Yeah.
people think. Like, should we change this? Yes or no? Do it on Twitter, do it on wherever. Run a poll where you can see, or you can feel like you have, even if you don't actually have a choice. Like team of the year, they say we have a choice. Everyone knows we don't have a choice.
Mhm.
They're throwing whoever they want to it. But where even you feel like you have that, say in what it is, and maybe the community does have more of an impact on what gets updated, because um so like for instance, this is going to be like a really random reference, but it's a game that I played that I know does this. It's RuneScape. I don't know if you ever heard of RuneScape.
Yeah, I've heard of RuneScape.
So on RuneScape they run polls pretty much weekly,
Okay.
where they list all these things on potential changes, and these are all changes that are brought up on live streams. So they do these Q&A live streams,
Mhm.
and people can ask or suggest certain changes. And from those live streams, they make these polls on, should we change this? Should we change this? Should we change this? And even for like big game updates, they do the same thing. They poll everything in the update so that the community decides, yes, we want this. No, we don't want this. So there's things, and it's like a certain percentage they need to pass. So if it doesn't pass a certain percentage, it completely drops. I think it's like 70%.
Okay.
So if it doesn't get to 70%, which is vast majority, then it gets completely cut. They
Mhm.
don't do it. They don't make the change. They don't introduce it or whatever. I think it would be really cool if EA did something similar where you let the community vote on gameplay changes, right?
Okay.
Menu changes doesn't matter. Menu changes are all minute and don't really matter anyways.
Mhm.
But gameplay changes, I think that the community should have a choice on what you're changing in the game. I think they should have a say, and I feel like if they would just poll it, and like
Mm.
maybe you like load on, like when you load onto FIFA and you go into
Yeah.
Ultimate Team, let's say there's like a maintenance running, you get the pop up, right? Oh, maintenance in X amount of time or whatever. What if instead, like you click it, you open up Ultimate Team, and it says weekly poll, vote on what you want. It's just a list of maybe 10 changes, 5, 10 changes,
Yeah.
where you vote yes or no. I would like to see this introduced.
Yeah.
And then I just feel like that would make it so that the community is helping tune the game rather than EA. And yeah, I'm sure they have like testers and all that who try to make the game better, and they like listen to people's complaints and all that. Like great. And I think it's like it's one thing to like do a change for a bug, right? For something that shouldn't be in the games, for something that's not intended. That's
Mhm.
totally different. Obviously, that shouldn't be
Mm.
pulled. But like
Yeah.
for like gameplay tweaking, like, oh, should we make AI defending weaker, or should we make it harder to do this or harder to do that? I feel like those should be pulled, because like I mean, I just think there's certain things that like they just do, and there's not a lot of people who are happy about
Yeah. Um, yeah, I would think that's something I would be for, to do a poll and let the community decide how the gameplay should be, as opposed to, I don't know, whatever EA wants to do. Then I guess you wouldn't have as much people being upset with the gameplay because, like, the community chooses, right?
it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like, because like, let's say you're even like, even if you're on like the losing side of a poll, right? Like, let's say you're in the minority for a vote, like you can't really be mad with the change because you can see this percentage of people voted for it. So obviously, I'm in the minority and it's not something that I wanted, but okay, the whole rest of the community wanted it. So it's just one of those things. Um, I just feel like it would be so much better.
I see. Yeah. Looks like Jake doesn't think so. Jake doesn't like the poll idea. He thinks it'll be too divided. But I mean,
It's
that's an
just I
interesting.
feel like it would
Yeah.
just be better than like EA just doing what they want. You know what I mean? Or doing what they
Yeah.
think is
Yeah.
is the right decision.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. At least have that input, right?
Yeah, even if they don't take it
Sure.
completely
Yeah.
like as like that, but like let's say they make a change and they're like, "Oh shit, 80% of people don't want this change." Then they'll maybe rethink and be like, "Okay,
Right.
what can we do? Do we maybe lessen the effect of this change?" Or, I feel like it would just be a way for them to see, do people really want this change or not? Like even if they don't like verbatim go by the poll, at least have it so that they can see, oh shit, maybe we don't need to change this or this or one way or the other.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, at least you acknowledge what the community, for the most part, wants. So, and whether they decide to make the changes or not, I mean, that's really up to them, right? Yeah. So,
That's just how
uh,
I feel.
yeah. I mean, I think that's a very interesting suggestion. I don't think I've ever heard that before. I didn't know RuneScape had like polls like that for their game.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, and RuneScape's old, man. Like that shit's been around. So it's not something that's gonna end EA for the forever if they did try to implement it. But
Sure. Yeah. Is RuneScape still around? Do people still play that?
I still play it. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
stopped playing it like more recently. Like I play it on and off. Like
Uh-huh.
there's times where I'm like, I'm bored maybe with a game and I'm like, screw it, I'll just go play RuneScape for a little bit. It's just one of those
Awesome,
games
man.
where like you can kind of pick it up. It's just like it's just like an XP grinder where you just kind of you're clicking around. You're not really, it's not really a stressful game by any means.
Got it. Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's just one of those comfort games, I guess you could say.
Got it. For sure. Well, it's been over like an hour 30. This might be a good time to end the stream.
Yeah, I need to eat. I haven't had dinner yet. It's like 11:40.
We gotta let Zero eat. So, is there anything else you want to say, Sam?
Nope. Thank you for having me. That's
Okay.
all I have to say. Is thank you for bringing me on, inviting me. I think like I don't even know how we like first interacted. It must have been like maybe a raid or something.
Okay.
But I remember so like it was pretty quick. We were like, "Oh, you're a streamer? Come on my podcast." So I like that you were like very like I don't know. I feel like you're I don't even know how to explain it. A good I couldn't even put it to words. Great streamer and probably a great friend, but I mean very early on. So who knows? Maybe you'll stab me in the back someday or something.
No, I won't do that. But yeah, I
But
mean, I just try to be friendly, but I appreciate the kind words, man.
it was great. It's been great meeting you, getting to know you, and I'm really glad you invited me on the podcast and that we could finally get a time together to do it. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a great streamer as well. And I've really enjoyed our podcast together, man. It was nice getting to know you as well. So
yes, it was a good time, man.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the viewers that came in here. Jake was like cracking me up the whole podcast. Man. He's so funny.
Jake
so
was
funny, Jake.
hating on me like he does my own stream.
Thank you, Trey, for coming through as well.
Trey and Jake, both you guys, I know you're both from my stream. You better subscribe to Koballa on YouTube right now. You're already here. You better do it.
U-Wave just gave a follow on your Twitch, Zero.
Thank you, Mr. U-Wave. I appreciate it.
Yeah, U-Wave is a fellow streamer too, so shout out to him, man.
Word.
Yeah,
I will also return the favor then.
Yeah. Where could people find you if they want to check you out?
On Twitch, I am Zeroiqtv with an underscore at the end, unfortunately. But on everything else, Zeroiqtv. Mostly active on Twitter, and TikTok outside of Twitch.
Got it.
And that's it.
Fantastic.
I stream every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Got it.
It's like I don't know what time that is for you. I think like 4 p.m. your time or
Yeah,
something.
4 p.m. Great.
So
Fantastic. So we'll leave the links in the description below so you guys could check Zero out. Thank you once again, Sam. And if you could stay a little bit after the end of the live stream, that'd be great.
yeah.
But for everybody else, have a good night and hope to see you again.